Jabbari claims she sustained head injuries, but never said how she received them.
As if she remembers.
How many of us feel battered?
He was on his way to becoming one of Hollywood's brightest stars, with acclaim for his dramatic performances and a promising future as a Marvel villain. But now actor Jonathan Majors is facing the possibility of up to a year in jail after a conviction on misdemeanor reckless assault and harassment in connection with an altercation involving his then-girlfriend.
Okay, so this is one of the more deluded, one of the crazier interviews I've seen from a celebrity in recent weeks. As you heard in the introduction there, we're going to be looking at the Jonathan Majors incident. Jonathan Majors, if you don't know who he is, a big Hollywood hotshot. A real rising star. He plays supervillains in all of those Marvel films.
Gay!
Why did you decide you wanted to talk now?
I felt like it was time. A lot has happened.
It sure has, Jonathan. So just before we get into the main part of this video and we see some of the crazier parts of this interview, we need to establish a couple of things. Yes, Jonathan Majors has been found guilty of having a bit of a scuffle, a skirmish with his ex, and we will look at that a little bit. We'll see some of the videos and whatever. But that's not really the main point of my video. It never is. Okay, not on the Daniel Boland Show. If you're new to this channel, or if you've been watching me for a while and you don't really get me, which seems to happen as well, I don't really care. Now, how should I word this? Guilty and innocent, right and wrong, they're all just words to me. I'm far more interested in people's characters. Jonathan Majors could batter every woman he meets, but could still be a pretty down-to-earth guy that you'd like to go and have a drink with. I'm joking, of course. If any friend of mine ever so much as laid a finger on a woman, I mean, my friend could be Jesus Christ himself, and I would disown him thrice before the cock crowed. Though, to be fair, if the Son of God thinks you deserve a slap. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. The point is, Jonathan Majors is very much not the Messiah.
Known for his roles in HBO's Lovecraft Country, Creed 3, and Marvel productions like last year's Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. And it was on that movie set back in 2021 where he met 30-year-old British dancer Grace Jabbari. The pair dated until March of 2023 when Majors called 911 the day after a fight that was caught on surveillance video.
What happened exactly? Do you know?
No, I don't know. But she's unconscious. She's my ex-partner. We broke up. I came back. She sent me text messages insinuating as much. I stayed in a hotel last night. I came home this morning.
Police found Jabbari on the closet floor of their apartment. Majors was arrested by New York City police, accused by Jabbari of assault, strangulation, and harassment, convicted last month, but acquitted of 1 count of assault and 1 count of aggravated harassment, meaning the jury didn't believe he assaulted her intentionally.
Now, as I said, I don't want this to be the focal point in my video. I really want to focus on the cringe, crazy stuff that Jonathan Majors says later on in the interview. But I guess it is kind of important so that we understand the context, right? They don't say as much in this report, but to me, it looks very much like a drunken fight. It's late at night. We're going to see the video later of the scuffle they had in the street. They're in a car. Jonathan gets out of the car. Jabbari starts trying to claw at him in a very womanly way. He kind of manhandles her, throws her back in the car, and that's probably where she gets the injuries from. He runs off down the street, goes to a hotel. People get involved. There's pedestrians sort of like breaking it up, and she goes off home to the apartment. And neither of them seems to have a clear recollection of what happened. She wakes up with all these injuries. She's not sure if she's been hit. I don't think she even knows, to be honest. He goes to the apartment, finds her unconscious. You saw the body cam footage of the police. They're peeling her off the closet floor. She's hungover. I've woken up in those conditions. And, you know, I didn't blame anyone. I don't think Jonathan Majors is a wife beater or anything like that. However, it seems very clear to me that they're both very sort of toxic people. And that's really what I want to focus on more than anything else. They're completely fucking crazy.
Your reaction to that verdict?
Shock. I was absolutely shocked.
and afraid. I'm standing there, and the verdict comes down. I say, how is that possible? Based off the evidence, based off the prosecution's evidence, let alone our evidence. How is that possible?
Now, I'm no lawyer, but I've watched a lot of YouTube videos. I'm no lawyer, technically, but I don't understand why Jonathan Majors thinks it's such a miscarriage of justice. As I say, you're going to see the video later of the scuffle, and the verdict seems fair to me. They've said it's a reckless misdemeanor of reckless assault or something like that. Well, he does pick up a woman and throw her into a car. I'm not saying... I kind of understand the situation. They're kind of drunk. She's clawing at him and he's like, get the fuck off me, right? But they found him not guilty of aggravated assault because, you know, they're saying, yeah, you didn't intend to hurt her. It was just, you know, you were a bit reckless. The moral of today's story, don't pick people up and throw them.
After the verdict, in a statement, Jabbari's attorney wrote in part, "Justice was finally served today, proving that the truth can prevail even in the face of power. Grace did not choose to be in this situation. Grace has been publicly attacked as a result of her courage to testify to the truth, but her unwavering resolve to see this case through to the end was born out of her desire to give other survivors similar courage when justice requires."
Now, I may not be a fully licensed investigative journalist, and perhaps my research hasn't been quite thorough enough. But as far as I can tell, Jabbari is the survivor of nothing more than alcohol poisoning. There may have been further exhibits, forensic evidence that I was not party to. So I'm completely willing to have my mind changed on this, but I would say this whole celebration of the conviction as, oh, it's for the survivors, my will was born out of the desire to shut the fuck up, Malala Yousafzai, alright? It's not, that's not it, okay? As far as I can tell, your ex-boyfriend has been convicted of accidentally bumping your head.
In court, Jabbari claimed she sustained head injuries, but never said how she received them.
As if she remembers.
How many of us feel battered?
It'd be like me filing a police report the day after a night out for all those random bruises on my shins and knees. Hey guys, did I fall over last night? Or did somebody try to kill me? Right, guys, all stay where you are. I'm calling the police. Hello? I'd like to report an attempted murder, please. Said they'll be here in 10 minutes. Look at my shins, they're fucked. Just to try to hack my legs off. And what's this? A calling card. Q jump. Must be my enemy's nom de plume.
This is literally a nightmare. I don't know what happened. I don't know what injuries you're talking about.
That needs to be turned into a GIF. Please, anyone watching with GIF making talents, turn that clip into a GIF. It would be perfect. You could use it in your group chat, right? When everyone's talking about what all the crazy things that went on last night, and you can just be like...
This is literally a nightmare. I don't know what happened. I don't know what injuries you're talking about.
You and then girlfriend Grace Jabbari are in the backseat of a chauffeured car. She sees a text from another woman. Things seem to spiral from there. Yeah. What happened next?
I cop to it. I show her, right? It's in my hand. She grabs it. We scuffle for the phone. I pull the phone back. I receive my injuries. I open the door. I step out. She comes. Then one of the biggest mistakes of my life. I pick her up. I put her back in the car.
I don't know. It does look like she might have banged her head there on the way back into the car, but there's no way of knowing. And the chauffeur, in his testimony, said it was all her. She was trying to claw his eyes out in a jealous rage. And I don't know. It seems odd that he says that was one of the biggest mistakes of his life, picking her up and putting her back in the car. I guess because it was used in evidence against him. Because he insists that his behaviour was in no way reckless and none of the injuries that she sustained could have been in any way anything to do with him.
I'm trying to get rid of her. I'm trying to get away from her. As the video shows, you know, everything calms. We get out, we walk across the street. I escort her across the street. The moment we get across the street, she grabs me. She goes for the phone. I get free of her and I run.
For blocks?
Yeah, for blocks.
Surveillance video also shows Jabbari talking to 3 strangers. She testified they offered to get her home. One of the bystanders can be seen speaking to Majors, who gestures for Jabbari to get back into the car. He eventually leaves without her and goes to a hotel for the night. Jabbari leaves with the bystanders.
That's the last time they were together. It didn't look like she'd been knocked out by her injuries. And this is pure speculation. Is it possible she went off into the night with those randomers and then can't really remember anything from there on?
Police found Jabbari on the closet floor of their apartment.
She says inside the car, you hit her in the face,
Yeah.
twist her arm behind her back, fracture her middle finger.
Yeah, that did not happen.
What happened?
She went to grab the phone. I held the phone. I pulled the phone back. She came on top of me, squeezed my face, slapped me. That's all I remember.
As I've already said, I'm no lawyer, I'm no journalist, and I'm no medical expert, right? But it didn't look to me as though Miss Jabbari was nursing any particularly painful broken fingers or gashes to the head when she was running after Jonathan in the street and then talking to those strangers outside the hotel with whom she may or may not have gone partying into the wee hours of the morning.
Were you reckless?
I was reckless with her heart.
Not with her body.
Not with her body.
You did pick her up and throw her. I wonder if the guys behind the crackhead chucking championships got the same conviction. We was only reckless with their hearts, Your Honor.
During the trial, an audio recording was presented in court by the prosecution of Jonathan Majors and Grace Jabbari during an argument.
Okay, so here's where it gets really weird.
How dare you come home drunk and disturb the peace of our house? Coretta Scott King. You know who that is? That's Martin Luther King's wife. Coretta Scott King. You know who that is? That's Martin Luther King's wife. Michelle Obama. Barack Obama's wife. My temper, my shit, my trauma, blah, all that said, right? And I'm not saying I'm a great man. A great man. I am doing great things, not just for me, but for my culture and for the world. That is actually the position I'm in. The woman that supports me, that I support, that needs to be a great woman.
Well, that was a bit. We've been over this. No. We've been over this. You cannot come in here and disturb the peace when I'm making my YouTube videos. All right? Cherie Blair. Do you know who that is? Right? That's the kind of woman I need in my life now, if I am to be as great as we all know I am. Okay? You can't come in here like a fucking rogue Carrie Johnson. I'm doing amazing things in here for my people, for my culture. The hell is wrong with you? Fucking...
There are some who question, especially in the black community, as you're probably well aware, that people were saying, well, why was he telling this woman to be like Coretta Scott King and Michelle Obama?
Especially amongst the black community, yeah. Because white people thought it was totally normal when Jonathan Majors was screaming at his girlfriend to emulate Coretta Scott King and Michelle Obama. I get what she's saying. I think, the black community are probably more vocal in their criticisms of that kind of behaviour. White people probably seize up a little bit when they hear a black guy talking about Coretta Scott King and Michelle Obama. Yes, she is. They were queens. I wish my wife was Michelle Obama. Whereas I guess, a black guy, they're not taking that bullshit, are they? They can see he's crazy and they can say it. They got a free pass to just go, damn, he wants his wife to be Michelle Obama? That motherfucker be tripping.
Give us the context of the conversation.
It was me trying to give an analogy of what it is I'm aspiring to be. These great men, Martin, President Obama,
Nelson Mandela.
And trying to give a reference point to that. I was attempting, and I did a terrible job at it apparently, I was attempting to motivate, to enlighten, to give perspective as into what it is I was hoping to get out of the relationship. I think that's fair.
In all seriousness, that is totally crazy. And do you know the craziest thing about narcissistic people with delusions of grandeur? It's just how basic all their analogies are. They never say anything you haven't heard of, or something that you wouldn't have occurred to you about the age of 14. They're so shallow. He's a successful black guy. So what does he go? In his mind, he's like, I'm like Obama. Or maybe Martin Luther King thinks that's like a profound insight that's like an analogy that you can understand now, that I'm like Obama or like MLK. Well, you be like their wives, okay? Because they were great, like me, so you need to be as great as their wives. It's insane. And they think that that's sort of an acceptable way to go about their lives.
In her closing argument, your attorney said that your greatest fear of being a black man in America calling 911 came true, suggesting that race was a part of this. Do you feel that race is a part of this?
I mean, yeah, of course it is.
I really don't think it is.
You think a white man facing the same allegations would have been arrested, charged, convicted?
I'll take it further. If you watch those videos and you reverse that, and you saw a black man chasing a young white girl down the street, screaming and crying, that man is going to be shot and killed in the streets of New York City. That black man will feel that.
Was he running down the street screaming and crying, "Did you pull the pin on your rape alarm?" He's right, though. Fair's fair. The police should have taken her out.
Movies don't matter. Work don't matter. Yale education doesn't matter. In that moment, what I felt was, oh, I'm nothing.
That really is a crazy way of looking at the world. I'm in the movies. I got a Yale education, and the law still applies to me.
Throughout the trial, Major's girlfriend,
Yoko's here.
actress Megan Good, was right by his side. She was also present for our conversation.
You've mentioned Megan a few times. Yeah. We've seen her right by your side, going in and out of court throughout the whole trial.
Yeah.
How would you describe your relationship?
It's a miracle. She's an angel. She's held me down like...
He's surely not gonna say it.
Like a Coretta.
Like a Coretta, of course. I think he nearly said like a Dr. Jill Biden, though.
Like a Coretta, you know? I'm so blessed to have her, you know? The relationship is still fresh, but, you know, I think I found her, yeah.
The one.
I hope she just stick with me.
Well, hopefully you stick with her and she doesn't disturb your peace like some wretched old Barbara Bush. Anyway, that's about all I've got time for today. Like the video if you've enjoyed it. If you've got this far, you must have, so hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
This is literally a nightmare. I don't know what happened. I don't know what injuries you're talking about.